Okay, we are back. We got the Datamines here for the Attuned and also Nuibaba banner. So we have the stats right there, courtesy, of course, of Gengar and Tsukasa. We got a customization pack. All right, we'll take a look at that. We got the skill rarities for Jedah and Jesse. And then we have the Hall of Forms information right there. So why don't we start things off with Hall of Forms like we normally do. So these are going to be the Hall of Forms units this time around. So we're getting, of course, an Awakening theme. We've got Legendary Male Robin. We have Brave Crom. We got Brave Tiki. And then we have... who is this? New Year Pan, I think it is. I'm pretty sure this is New Year Pan, because she's the only Pan I can think of that's red. So there we go. Those are going to be our units. New Year Pan is, of course, a banner demote. So... well, a seasonal banner demote, so probably not going to be the easiest to get a lot of copies of her. Crom and Tiki are okay. I mean, Crom is significantly better than Tiki after getting the refine. But you can get some good stuff for Brave Tiki if you were intending to go for her in here. Like, Scowl skills are pretty good. I guess you could give her Distant Bonus Doubler as well if you wanted to go in that direction. There's just a lot of good options, right? Even her, I think her B skill, her unique B skill is obsolete by this point. You'd probably just rather give her something better. Like maybe Lagoo's Friend is probably what she's looking for. There's Dragon's Roar. There's a lot of good skills for this Tiki in particular if, once again, you plan to go for her. Brave Crom shouldn't be too difficult to build. Just attack and speed excel. Probably what he wants to go for. Maybe attack speed incited or... what would be some other good, like, C-skill options for him? Well, he's a type of unit that wants to get a lot of status effects, so, like, Incited would be the first thing to come to mind. I guess attack and speed... what was the one that gives them Kanto 1 again? I already don't even remember the name of that. Ugh. Yeah, my memory is not so good. We've gotten so many skills. It's hard to keep track of all the passives now, but the one I'm thinking of was, I think it's Alarm Attack and Speed, right? That's the one that gives you Kanto 1 and then Attack and Speed up 6 as a blue bonus. That could possibly be an option for him, but more than likely, if you're running this guy, you're going to give him the Sigurd Ring, because I think that's definitely the best ring to give him. And then Legendary Robin... he's certainly one of the better legendary heroes we've gotten access to in a Hall of Forms. So there's going to be some good skills you'd be able to give to him. His weapon, of course, is still really good as it gives you the grand strategy support, so you can flip all your debuffs into bonuses. It's just a little bit easier to counter it now than it was back when he came out. Like, the Gold Border Ploy skills inflict Ploy, which nullifies Bonus Doubler and Grand Strategy, unfortunately for this Robin. But he scores relatively higher than a lot of the other legendary heroes we've been getting in here, and he hasn't refined yet. So there's no telling how good he's going to end up being once he gets his refine. So more so of a investment option for the future if you decide to go for him. All right, so those are the units from Hall of Forms. Looks like a pretty solid overall Hall of Forms. We do have some pretty good units in there. Okay, we can take a look at that, but before we take a look at the skill rarities, we'll take a look at the stats for the characters. Okay, this is way too big. We gotta downsize that a little bit. All right, starting things off with Attuned. Let's grab the calculator here so we can get his BST. Okay, so 41 HP. We have 47 attack, 47 speed, 30 defense, and then 28 res. And that gives Alm a 193 BST overall, which is pretty good for a ranged infantry type. He actually scores in the same bin as, what's his face? Cyril. Finally. But he's not free to play. Cyril is free to play. So that's, I mean, are you going to be running Alm in Arena? More than likely, yes, over Cyril. But still, like, score for a premium 5-star, you'd probably be looking for something that scores a little better than that. Okay, regardless, this guy is definitely the unit of the banner. He is, I mean, miles ahead of all the rest of these guys. Noma is just like a warping beacon, which we have far superior warping beacons already available. For example, the New Year Tana, who is much better, and also the Baby Emerin, who I think is a better warping beacon. He lets allies warp 2 spaces to him if he's in 2 spaces of a trap, even if it's a fake trap in Aether Raids. So maybe that's a little bit more consistent and easy to activate, you may think, but outside of that, he doesn't really do much else. He's kind of a one-note guy where all he's really doing that's noteworthy is the warping. But yeah, Nuibaba's just like a rearmed hero. She's got an updated Arcane Blue Tome, which is nice because I think the last one we got was Arcane Reinhardt's, but his Blue Tome was not quite as good as Plumeria's. So most people were still running the Arcane Blue Tome from Plumeria. Now you're definitely going to want to go for Nuibaba's, but it's not really better enough by a significant enough margin for me. It might have been if she was giving the Anathema support to allies in 2 spaces, but she only gives it to herself with that. So, yeah, could have certainly been a little bit better for her. But, once again, we digress a little bit from Alm there. We were talking about him. He is just Legendary Ira except range. So, of course, I think he's definitely going to be a very powerful unit. Certainly one of the better users of the Legendary or Emblem Lin Ring, if you want to give it to him, because he can just attack from 5 spaces away, and he's going to have no trouble at all breaking through any of those far-saved tanks that are running Shield Fighter and Pavis and Aegis and all that stuff. So this Alm is a very good unit. I don't think this banner is worthwhile summoning on, though. There's not really enough going on here for me personally, outside of Alm, to really warrant people summoning. So there we go with Alm. Very good unit. Okay, then we have Nuibaba's stats over there. Already kind of touched upon her a little bit, but I don't really think she's doing enough to warrant summoning unless you're going for the artwork. And I know a lot of people were actually waiting on her for quite some time. Her and Jesse are like the 2 characters of this banner that were introduced here that I think a lot of the fans wanted. So if that's the reason for you summoning for her, then by all means. So she's got 40 HP. We have 48 attack, 36 speed, 17 defense, and then 47 res. So grand total of 188. Unfortunately, not as high as Cyril. That's still below him. Yeah, stat-wise, checks out. Lots of attack, lots of res. It's probably all you really would care about with her. Her B skill lets her debuff the enemies based on if she's got more res than them and if they're in 2 spaces of an ally, which is a pretty solid radius for a debuff. So she's probably going to be able to hit a lot of people with that. She doesn't really come with a hard boosting res skill, though. They gave her Sly Mirror as opposed to Crystalline Water, which would go a little bit more hand in hand with her B skill. Also would give her true damage on an AoE if she were to use one, which I think is probably what you might want to go for if you're running her with her own weapon, because it gives her bonus damage on the AoE. Or you could just give her like Frost Moon or something. Frost Moon would be pretty nice to duplicate with her being an arcane hero. Okay, Noma up next. Basically Saruman. This guy is Saruman, and then Athos was Gandalf. Obviously, Gandalf is far superior and far cooler. But this guy over here, he's got 40 HP. We have 47 attack, 28 speed, 24 defense, and then 49 res. Pretty similar stat line to Nuibaba, except it's got much less speed and then more points of defense, which is definitely a lot better, I would say, for a unit like this. So they have the same VST, 188. Noma doesn't really have the best fodder. I can't believe they gave him Seal Res. Like, what was it? Seal Attack and Res or Seal Speed and Res or something like that in the B skill. We have gone far beyond the points of running double Seal skills, right? Like, those were never even in vogue when they had first came out. So kind of insulting that he's getting that added to the pool of new skills. He does have Pulse Ploy, though, which is still pretty good. So at least he's got one decent skill. I've heard people very upset that they didn't give him Frost Moon. But I mean, I guess it would have been nice to just give him Frost Moon, right? But I don't know. They decided against. So what are you going to do? All right, Jesse is up next. He is our demote of the banner. Probably not going to be very good because he lacks a preference weapon, but we'll see here. So 42 HP, 45 attack, 47 speed, 32 defense, and then 33 res. Not the worst stat line for a demote, and his BST is actually pretty good. I believe he's in the same bin as Panette, so that's actually pretty good. His score is going to be less, though, because he lacks a preference weapon, so that is unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, you'd build him like you would build any recent God Sword at this point. Just give him, like, Lagoo's Loyalty, give him Godlike Reflexes, or Gust if you want to go for that instead. Give him, like, Nullsea Echo, and Times Pulse Edge is an option, but we got, like, 50 different variants of Times Pulse to choose from now, so those could all be options. I mean, he's got some definite options if you want to, like, really go for it, but at this point in the game's life, building a demote is really rough, because even if you're looking for arcane weapons, that, like, even those are paling in comparison to some of the preference weapons of the exclusive units now. Like, you look at what Alm is doing that no one else is able to do, like, all of his preference skills, nullifying defensive-based specials, nullifying non-special DR. This guy is nuts. And then you look at what all the other units here are doing that are not inheritable, like Nuibaba, what she's doing on her beast skill, what Noma's doing on his weapon. They just, like, they're not even in the same realm as Alm. So, I don't know. It's just a choice that Insys likes to make. Some units are built to succeed and some aren't. I can't control which units those are, but yeah, I mean, if you want to build him, his stat line seems solid enough for a demote, but keep in mind, demotes are not really what we're looking for right now. And then finally, our Grand Hero Battle, Jedah, over here. So let's go ahead and take a look at him. Looking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame with, like, frostbite. Okay, so he's got 41 HP, 44 attack, 18 speed, 44 defense, and then 41 res. Pretty interesting stat line there for a tome type of unit. If he has a preference weapon, we might be able to do something with that. So, yeah, his BST to me looks pretty good. Lots of defense, lots of res, speed is a dump stat, and then lots of attack. So, yeah, can't really go wrong. Now let's just see if he's got the goods. Oh, we'll take a look at that in a moment. That's the customization pack. Oh, no. Router Crab? Oh, no. They didn't give him a preference weapon. But at least he has his crab, right? Who was it? Him or was it Was it him or was it Noma who had something nonsense with a crab? I think it was this guy. So there he is. At least he's got his crab, right? Okay, at the start of turn, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants attack up 6, and if unit initiates combat, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack to unit for 1 turn. Not even giving that to allies in 2 spaces. Would this be broken? To give all allies in 2 spaces, including himself, attack up 6 and a guaranteed follow-up as a status? I don't think so. And this is not even as... Like, premium units nowadays will give you 2 stats up 6 to themselves and allies in 2 spaces and 2 or more crazy status effects. Guaranteed follow-up is not even that crazy of a status effect. Oh, Jesus. Okay, also, at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants all stats of 5 to unit during combat, and deals plus X damage, where X is the number of bonus effects active on unit and foe, excluding stat bonuses times 5 with a max of 25. Okay, that's a good effect, though. That's basically Ninja Lucina's true damage effect, which is actually something a lot of units have stolen ever since Ninja Lucina. Like all the units on the Valentine banner, for example. So, yeah, I mean, this is a good effect. This is giving you a lot of possible true damage there. It could be better, though. Like, they could certainly done a little bit better with the first portion of this weapon here. Alright, then they just explain what bonuses are. We know what bonuses are. Okay, he's got Ignis at 4-star. Attack and defense finish 3 at 5-star. Okay, that's okay. I'm not going to complain about level 3 finish skills. Because you could still make a use case for them on certain units. They're not as good as the, like, Sly Swift and Sly Mirror skills, which are pretty similar. But they are dual phase. Like, you're getting the stats on the enemy phase too, whereas Sly Mirror and Sly Swift, you only get the stats when you initiate combat. So, Like I said, they do have a use case, but they're not quite as good as like some of the more recent ace skills. All right, then he's got Poison Strike 3. I guess the idea is that you want to give him Occult Strike. All right, and then Jesse has got Speed and Defense Ideal 3 at 4-star, and then he has Repel 3 at 5-star, which is, I mean, it is what it is. Repel used to be good, but not anymore. So, yeah, not even Repel 4 is any good. So, I mean, they could have gave him Repel 4, and he still would have been kind of unimpressive. But it would have been cool to see a gold border skill on a demote. Okay, so here is the customization pack for $8.99 US. We are getting a copy of Brave Sorin and then 22 orbs. Brave Sorin's fodder was really good when he came out, but not right now. Like, he's got Flare, he's got Magic Null Follow-Up, and then he's got Times Pulse 4. All of which we have far better skills than now, so I wouldn't recommend spending money for this one. And even Times Pulse 4, like, there's 50 variations of Times Pulse now. So it's not even the best in slot of its own brand of effect, right? So, like, that's not so great. Magic Null Follow-Up, that's damn near an Echo skill at this point. And Flare is just not as good as Frosted Moon, sadly. They are a little bit different. Like, you're getting Sustained from Flare, but one thing they really messed up with Flare on was having it do the res check based on the enemy's res as opposed to your own. Because obviously the unit you're giving Flare to is going to be a mage, probably going to have a lot of res. But now let's just use the enemy's res for the check. Because why? I don't know. Okay, so there we go with that. I think that's just about everything. All right, we got some early chapter spoilers if you want. Oh, Infantry Pulse is on hiatus. Yeah, I haven't really seen any videos from him or any updates or anything in quite some time. He's probably busy playing Monster Hunter, I would hope, like the rest of us. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much everything we've got going on here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. This is your boy Tacho signing out, so take care, fellas, and I will catch y'all again on the flip side.